On this episode of RCKicks, we're checking out this, the 1/18 scale fire horse from RocHobby. Do you know what? Wouldn't it be cool if they made something like this but in 6-wheel drive? But they did! Check it out, hot off the presses. Let's open it up and take a look and compare them between each other. Which one should you go for? The 6-wheel or the standard 4? Let's find out. So we have two offerings from RocHobby on the show today. Not only do we have the 4-wheel drive version, but we have the 6x6 as well. This just dropped today as of this video. But when I saw this was coming out and I was informed that I'd be getting one to show you, I thought, oh, it's just going to be the same apart from they just bolted an extra axle on. Well, it turns out there's actually more to it than that. Looking at the actual bodies themselves, the bonnets are completely different. So you can say, okay, they changed the bonnets, but the actual chassis is the same. No, this is a totally new mold. There is things on this one that are very different to this one. There's a mold mark right on the top, which isn't on this one. Also, the shut lines across the bulkhead are different. One thing I've noticed, but I'm not sure if it's to do with the paint or it's actually the mold itself, the detail that's on the 6x6 seems to be a little bit sharper than the Firehorse. But I don't know if that's just because the colour is giving you more definition from the gunmetal grey, or it generally is. It's just when I look at things that are almost the same, they just seem to be more sharper. But I honestly can't say whether that's just in my head because of the paint colour. Also, when you flip them over, you can see that the undersides are different. They've actually painted the underside of the 6x6 in the same gunmetal colour, whereas the Firehorse has like a black bottom to it. A lot of it is the same, the grills, the bumpers. One thing I found that was really strange was in the 6x6 you had to fit the bumper yourself, I'm guessing because it's just so long, but you also had to fit these bars. Now I think that was a bit of a rubbish idea as the screws that you use are tiny, absolutely tiny, so you need some very small screwdrivers. Also when you screw this in from underneath, it is a bit of a faff, and I personally just glued it in place. I just couldn't be doing with the screws, so I put them in with a bit of glue and it was good enough. Obviously, if you buy it, you can take the time to screw it in yourself, but so that I don't think really worked very well, that you'd expect someone who's buying one of these to actually have small screwdrivers. Obviously, if you do, it's not a problem, but for a lot of people, they would just probably will end up not using it, which is fine because I don't know if these bars actually add anything. Yes, it's another detail, but without it, it looks pretty good. So I guess what they should probably do is just give you 4 little caps that you can just drop in if you decide you don't want to use the bar. From a performance point of view, I couldn't really see much different. The motor seems the same, all the running gear seems the same, and I tried to do a slow crawl to see if there was any difference because the transmitters are actually different. Out of the two, I personally prefer this version. I just found that the buttons were a lot easier to work with versus this one, but I do like the size of this, especially if you're going to be going out, having that in your bag versus that. So personally, if I could get this to be this size with this functionality, that would definitely be the way to go, but that's fine, totally acceptable. Obviously this one has foam on it where this one is plastic, so that's nice to have as well. It feels a little bit more premium than that one. The lights on the Firehorse, there's more options available to you. It has front indicators on the wings, where on the other one, their wings have been cut down, so there's nowhere for the indicators. So all you have on the 6x6 is the front headlights. Another thing I noted between the two, the headlights are different. They're more yellow on the 6x6 than the Firehorse. Don't ask me why, no idea. I guess it's just a batch thing, so yours might vary. But on these two, the Firehorse was a bit more white. So on looking at the rims, tyres and the running gear itself, they all look to be pretty much exactly the same. One thing that is different is the combined receiver ESC that's in these two trucks. The one in the 6x6 seems to be a bit more like the one they use in all their newer releases, whereas the one that's in the fire truck seems to be a slightly different version. Now on driving them, they didn't feel that much different, so I can't really say which one is better. Now they're not waterproof, but they are sort of splash proof. On a previous video where I reviewed another one of these, it did actually go in a bucket of water and it survived, and it's gone off as a gift to somebody else. Right, one truck. Now, when you buy these, just like all the others, they come with a USB charger, the LiPo battery, and everything you need to get up and running. So let's take it out and give them a blast and see, does having 6 wheels outperform having 4?
I'm so in love with you. You got me down again. Hold up. I'm so in love with you. You got me down again.
Now we've seen quite a few of these coming out at these sort of scales, and the one thing I wish they would start doing is taking these and scaling them up to 1/10, because they're getting so good with all the detail of the window wipers and all the interiors and the steering and all the bonnets. 1/10 would be amazing, but they definitely keep improving every time they bring out a new one. It's just that little bit better, a little bit more detail, a little bit better painted, or the plastics they've used to give you the color. So they're definitely coming on. So comment below, let me know, have you got some of these? Do you enjoy them? Also, when it's raining over the winter, you can trail these inside the house, set up a load of cushions and drive them around on your sofas and stuff like that, which is what I do. So you don't necessarily have to take them out like I did in my video. You can just use them in the house. Thanks for watching to the end. Comment below, let me know what you thought. Right, now we move on to the Blazing Blazer. It's going to be an epic build.